Hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday, guys. We are here again. Today is another wonderful Sunday, and we are here with a great topic as well that talks about mental health 101. What is mental illness? So, we are here with no other person in studio but the doctor himself for mental health to talk to us about mental health, to educate us about mental health today. So I want to welcome you to the Evelyn Marsh Network. Hope you're going to have a wonderful time. Grab your pen and paper and let's do this together. Okay? All righty.
Hello. Akedue. Welcome to the Evelyn Marsh Network. We are all about the 6 E's. Etiquette, exposed, entertain, evangelize, empower, and elevate. I am your friend, your sister, and
Yep.
your girl, Evelyn March. And guess what? We love you, and we love you by force.
Yes, he is a big God. There is no other God than our Almighty God who woke you up this morning, or may I say, who woke us up this morning, set us on our way. We are here today. If you went to church in person or online, I hope you had a wonderful time in His presence with the Word of God, the songs, and what have you, fellowship, and all of the above. But God is always there. He said we should call upon Him and He will hear us. So He is a big God. He is able to do anything beyond our imagination. That's the God we serve, and that's the God we are talking about tonight. Um, on this platform, as well as we talk about mental health. So again, if you are just joining us, please comment, like, and share. We are here to talk about mental health 101. Yeah, and today is our Pujupu is not here. My personal handbag is not here. She will be in the comment section. But I'm here with our most handsome doctor who is going to be talking to us about mental health. For some reason today, I'm having fun. I can see. So excuse me, but I'm having fun where I am. So yeah, so I have to fan myself here a little bit. But yeah, I'm not going to waste any time because we have a lot to talk about today. I will bring Dr. Kwan on, and he and I going to enjoy the music together before we dive right into our discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, but first of all, before I bring him on, again, I want to welcome you. This is Evelyn Marsh. If you are mourning the loss of your loved one, we want to say have our sympathy, our deepest sympathy. Also, we want to say sorry again to one of our guests who has always been here, Dr. Orita Becken, who lay her mom to rest yesterday. May God help you to hold on. And also the rest of you who we cannot call by name, we are sorry from EMN to you. Also, I would like for you to invite everyone and come. Let us talk. Mental health is something that is, you know, is spreading in our community, especially the Black and brown community. And we don't talk about it much. We don't say much about it. But we want to throw light on it, we want to create that awareness because it's happening to little kids, young, old, and all of the above. So come and let us learn from the most handsome doctor himself, humble guy, very easy to talk to. Somebody met me at a party and they pulled me aside and they said, "Look, I met Dr. Pa." I said, "Okay, how is he?" "Oh, he's very cool." I said, "Good, that's good." So we're gonna have Dr. Pan talking to us here today and about mental health 101. What is mental illness? So I'm gonna bring Dr. Pan on. Again, I alone here, I feel so bad, but I can't help it. It's just Dr. Pan and I. So we're gonna just enjoy ourselves here today and just have the best of fun. So here is Dr. Pan. Before we play our music, Dr. Pan and I are gonna enjoy this song together. Again, follow us on all social media platforms. We are there. If you in Liberia, you can watch the relay with Success FM, and just from Monday to Friday to Saturday, 9:30 p.m. to 10, I think, or from 9 to 10 p.m. So Dr. Pan is here. Here he is, the most handsome doctor.
I know. I should probably trademark that thing so that nobody else can use it.
Nobody should.
Right? Yeah, but Puchupu is the one that should be sorry because we'll be having fun and she's not here.
Yeah.
So wherever you are, you can follow us online, Puchupu, and we'll have fun without you. But we still miss you.
Yes, we miss you. We do. Okay, with that, Dr. Pan, let's just go right into the music and then we can start.
All right. You want me warmer? Hold on. Let me stretch.
What you want?
Let me dress.
You want to stretch
Yeah.
first?
No, I do. I don't want to stretching. Let's go. Let's go.
This is a
Already.
song that is called Finally by I can see the guy name, but maybe I will see his name later. But I've heard this song a lot
I
now.
know.
So let's play it today. Finally.
God has done it for me, yo. He make me celebrating, make me jubilating.
I love melodic gospel beats.
So I come to say today, finally, yo. God has done it for me, yo. Finally, yo. God has done
Yeah,
it
now.
for me. Finally, yo. Finally, yo. Finally, God has done it for me, yo. He has turned my life around. Finally, yo. Finally, God has done it for me. When I look back at my life and see where God took me from, every day I will give Him praise, yo. See where He had brought me. See where God had brought me. Everybody now. Thank you, oh Papa. Thank you for blessing my life. Thank you, oh Papa. Thank you for blessing my life. Thank you, oh Papa. Thank you for blessing my life. Oh. So I come to say today, finally, yo. God has done it for me, yo. He put smile on my face, finally, yo. He make me celebrating, God has done it for me. He don't want no one could do, oh. Finally, yo. God has done it for me, yo. He changed my story, oh. Finally, yo. Oh, na 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 na. God has done it for me. Finally, yo. God has done it for me, yo. He put smile on my face, finally, yo. He make me celebrating, God has done it for me. Nganwanga nangala bopa nyamba bopa nunga poye mao nangala ngapa genga ishefe. Yamen taman kami nangala. Let me hear you say. You bless my business, finally. You bless my marriage, finally. You bless my family, finally. You change my story, finally. You make me happy, finally. You make me dancing, finally. I'm graduating, finally. Everybody come and see, finally, oh. God's done it for me, oh. He put smile on my face, finally, oh. He make me celebrating, God's done it for me. He don't want no one could do, oh. Finally, oh. God's done it for me, oh. See me today, oh. Finally, oh. God's done it for me. Finally, oh. Finally, oh. God's done it for me, oh. He had turned my life around. Finally, oh. Oh, na, na, na. God's done it for me. When I look back at my life and see where God took me from, every day I will give you praise, yo. See where He had brought me. See where God had brought me. Are you ready to do the fun of the dance? Let me see you now. You bless my business, finally. You bless my marriage, finally. You bless my family, finally. You change my story, finally. You make me happy, finally. You make me dancing, finally. I'm graduating, finally. Everybody come and see, finally, oh. God's done it for me, oh. He put smile on my face, finally, oh. God's done it for me. He blessed me double, finally, oh. Finally, oh. God's done it for me, oh. Finally, oh.
Excellent Records.
God's done it for me.
Finally.
Finally, God has done it for me.
I know.
Yes.
You know,
Wow, what
you
has
should probably say, finally, I've gotten to the place where God prepared for me, you know? Because
uh
it's like God keeps saying He already did it a long time ago.
yes.
Sometimes we take time to get to it, but the beat is good. The beat is very good, and I actually was dancing here. You didn't see it.
Okay. So and I like the way you put it, Dr. Kwan. Say finally I have gotten to
Where God wanted me to
where
be.
God wanted me to be, or maybe um
I got
also
my portion.
I got my portion, align myself with the will of God for my life. Because probably like the children of Israel, God has been waiting on you and you have been wandering around in the wilderness trying different things to see which one will work. And it's just been there for you all along, because when he created you with a plan in mind, right? A plan that you
Right.
will succeed, and not to be a loser but to be a winner. You are the apple of his eyes, and to give you an unexpected end, and all of the above. And you just been in the wilderness trying different things and deviating from the plans of God. And finally, you have arrived to where God wants you to be. I like that remix, Dr. Kwan. Um, I
What
don't
it does.
I don't know if you can sing, but you sang it
Well,
fire, right?
you know, you'll get it. You'll get it one day. You know, I used to sing the I can say, but whether I can still sing that one, anyway, I claim it.
Oh, play me again.
uh, I claim it. I claim it.
That's I love.
What God has done, He can still do.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have a long way to go today. So we're gonna start right away without wasting any time. But before we do that, let me quickly, I'm the only person here. So right now, Dr. Kwan is well, he's not a guest. I will not say he's a guest. So Dr. Kwan and I are gonna do this tonight. But Dr. Kwan is the mental health doctor, so he's gonna focus on answering the questions tonight. So quickly, I want to recognize my personal handbag. She's in the comment section. We love you, baby. We miss you. You only get one name today, personal handbag, because
Yeah.
you're not on here.
A
So
second emotion.
Yeah, yeah. And so I also would want to recognize my dad, Pastor David Young, my music dad. He said, okay, that my Peking from the Maron Castle ministry when I was here, when I was her administrator. Oh, that's great, Dad. Welcome, Dad. My mom is here. Welcome, Mommy. I'm happy to have you. She said, hi, I am here. I always enjoy. Yes, Mother. Love you. Welcome to my big sister, Kathleen Nippon Rivers. Good evening, my beautiful little sister. Good to see you once more. Love you, big sister. Thanks for being here. And so, as you come on, please comment, like, so we can recognize you because we are happy to have you. We don't want to, we enjoy you being here. The fact that you took out your time to come and spend your Sunday evening with us every Sunday, we want to recognize you as partners of EMN. So please comment, like, and share so we can know that you are here. On that note, Dr. Pan, let's go straight into our discussion, Dr. Pan. But for those who don't know you, and you know the funny thing about it, Dr. Pan, there are some people who watch the show, they don't comment, they don't like, but they do. And even I was talking to someone from Australia this weekend, and they were telling me about the show. So I said, "Oh, you are one of those undercover." He was like, yeah. So for those of you who don't comment and like or share, we still want to say hi to you and we welcome you. We see you. So thank you for watching anyway. But please comment. If you don't comment, at least like and share so that other people can have the opportunity as well to to see or to listen to what we are talking about because it is very rewarding. Um, okay, Dr. Palm,
Yes.
please
Go ahead.
introduce yourself for those who will be the first who will come across this video for the first time because there will always be a first time listener. So please introduce yourself.
I am Dr. Sam G. Ban. I am a mental health practitioner here in the state of Minnesota, USA. Uh, I've been working in mental health for decades now, one category or another. I became a provider back in 2019. And in 2023, I opened my own clinic here. So we operate the Essential Care Centers Clinic here in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Okay, someone met me at a party and they told me about you. I think they are either at your clinic or they visit or something. So want to say thank you to those of you, especially Liberians who are supporting Dr. Kwan um, by either taking someone there or going there or whatever help or whatever contribution you are making towards his business. I want to say thank you. And I also want to encourage us to support Dr. Kwan, support our own business, not only Dr. Kwan. I don't know if anybody else, but we know about Dr. Kwan. He's on this show, so he's our first preference. And then other Liberian businesses, we are encouraging you to also support your own. It is good to support your own. If you don't support your own, no one else will. Okay, so that's Dr. Kwan. Dr. Kwan, how will you explain the difference between mental health and mental illness? Mental illness.
Well, just thank you. And I want to also say thank you for the Evelyn Mice Network. I am grateful to be here frequently. And mental health is my passion. And I appreciate the fact that I'm here frequently to help educate our people
Yeah.
on that topic. Um, so, mental health focuses on how a person thinks, how you feel, and how you behave. So mental illness is when there's something wrong with how you think, how you feel, or how you behave. That's the simple definition. But we can go a little bit deeper than that because there are certain conditions and diseases that impact the way we think, different kind of conditions that impact the way we feel, and other conditions that impact the way we behave. But any conditions or disease that impact your thoughts, your emotions, or your behavior is altogether what we call mental health or mental illness.
Okay. So mainly, so are you saying that it doesn't mean when you the way you feel, the way you act, or the way you behave is impacted, it doesn't always mean that you have a mental illness. Sometimes disease can cause that.
Now, what I mean is if there's something wrong with the way you think, like whether the thing is wrong or right, most of the time depends on the society or the community you live in, right? There are certain things that we think, if you are living in Liberia, there are certain things you think is correct, is okay, and then you come to America and those things are not okay, right? Certain
Yes.
behavior you do in Liberia is okay. You come to America, it's not okay. Or you certain things we do in Minnesota, that's okay. You go to Florida, it's not okay. So that's one of the things that's confusing a lot of people about what mental illness is. Is like what we think of, what we consider optimal thinking or optimal mood or behavior, it might change with different cultures or different settings and different communities. But anything that negatively impacts the way you think, if the way you are thinking, most people in the community or the culture you live in things that way of thinking is not correct, right? If the way you are feeling, and you yourself can say, I'm not feeling okay, right? Now, with the emotions part, the way you're feeling, anybody can feel bad or feel good any day, right?
Mhm.
It is not a condition, it's not an illness just because you feel bad or you feel good, right? But however, we say if you start to feel abnormal, let's say you're not feeling good or you're feeling way too good, and then it goes on for too long. So if you are feeling down and depressed and it lasts every day for longer than 2 weeks, then okay, you need to see somebody to talk to about that. But if you feel good for 1 day, 2 days, 3, you're having a party, you're having a graduation, it lasts the whole weekend, you gotta, that's not a problem, right? So it becomes a clinical problem when if the way you are thinking, feeling, or behaving becomes kind of pervasive or prolonged, then it's like, and the society you live in does not condone those kind of behaviors or thought processes, then it's like, okay, you need to talk to somebody about it.
Okay. So what are the common mental illnesses you deal with? Or what?
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's what Mental Health 101 is about, right? It's about let's tell people what are the common things out there. The most common condition we see in the United States is generalized anxiety. I think they say like on any given day, in fact, 84% of the people that seek help are for anxiety, right? And the clinical definition of anxiety is somebody who worries too much about things that they do not control, right? So those two things have to be true. You worry too much about things you do not control, right? Then it becomes a clinical problem. If that worrying keeps going on and on for a period of time, it's like okay, you need help. We all worry about things, right? But if we worry about things that we can control, guess what? You fix it, right? If
Yeah.
you can, if you are worried about something like what am I going to eat tomorrow, right? And then you can go to the grocery store and you get to pick what you want to eat, right?
Yeah.
Now, but if you are worried about things that you do not control and too much, if you worry too much about things that you do not control, it can become a problem for you, right? Now, there are different types of anxiety. There like social anxiety. There's certain people who, whenever they have to meet other people or go in a crowd or get outside of their house, that would be agoraphobia. But there are certain people when they have to meet other people, their hearts start going fast. Sometimes they even panic, right? There's still an OCD, certain people where they have to do a certain thing a certain way all the time, no deviation. And they think gotta be right here. It's right here all the time. Somebody push it a little bit, they can't their brain gets stuck on it until they can bring it back where it belongs. They're not able to think about something else. That can be a problem too, right? So there are
Mhm.
different types of anxiety. And also anxiety, sometimes if you don't control it, it keeps going until you have what they call a panic attack. A panic attack is when your anxiety becomes overwhelming and it incapacitates you for a period of time. It might be just seconds or minutes, but for that time period, your whole system kind of locks down and you can't think, you can't do something logical because your whole system locks down. That's what a panic attack looks like, right? So anxiety is worrying too much about things you don't control. One of the things we don't control is other human beings,
Mm.
right? Whether it's your child or your spouse or your pastor or somebody, your best friend, those are all things you cannot control. We can all worry about our kids, but remember the criteria say too much, right?
Too much.
About things you can't control. So then it's like, okay, if you worry, your kid went out and you're worried about that, the thing is, okay, 10 o'clock tonight, they come back home, right? Case closed. But if you're worried about certain thing that keeps going and going and going and going, and it's not getting better about something that other people do, that can become a problem for you. So anxiety is the most popular condition we see, and with the other subtypes. The other condition that's very popular is depression. Now, on any given day, they say 96% of people in America are depressed any given day. But to meet clinical criteria, this depression have to go on every day for 2 weeks or longer than 2 weeks, right?
Mm.
But on a given day, people feel happy, sad, you know, but it's kind of transient. We move up and down on the mood line every day. But if you're on, you get sad and you get stuck and it lasts for 2 weeks or longer, then you need help. So, depression, the clinical definition of depression is when you feel down, right? And then it is coupled with either you lost interest in things you once enjoyed doing when your friend and say, "Oh, let's go for choir practice," or "Let's go to the thing." You don't have interest in it, even though you used to enjoy it, or when your friends say, "Let's go do this thing," and they force you, they carry you, those things that used to make you happy, they don't make you happy anymore. So remember, there's two things. One, you got to be feeling down, and then either you lost interest in things you once enjoyed doing, or when you do those things, you still lack the ability to feel pleasure, even though they once gave you pleasure, and that lasts for 2 weeks or longer. Then you meet criteria for clinical depression. Right? So that's the other thing we see frequently. We also see people with psychotic symptoms frequently. Now, when we talk about psychosis, they got different names for it, different places. Uh, um, but psychotic symptoms will be things like we talk about hallucinations. That's where a person hears things or sees things that people sitting or standing in the same area with them cannot hear or see, right? So you are hearing voices that people right next to you cannot hear, or you are seeing things people next to you cannot see. Those are called hallucinations, right? And then there's a paranoia. That's where you think say people are following you, people are talking about you all the time, people are planning against you, and then you look down the road, you see two of your friends talking, you think that you they talking about, you know. But it's like you feel like your people are against you or the system is against you, but there's no evidence, right? Then they say the person is paranoid. And then there's another one called delusions, where you believe something to be true, but we check all over the place, there's no evidence that's true, right? And there's a certain type of I did somebody sent me a text the other day say, hey, when you talk about mental health, you should also talk about this. There's a type of jealousy that's also a type is a
The way
there's a type of jealousy that meets criteria as a psychotic symptoms, right? That's where you have this kind of real, I don't know what's the word, you passionate kind of jealousy where you think your partner is cheating or doing something and there's no evidence at all. Everybody now check, but no evidence, but you're so passionate about it. It can also be like a psychotic symptom. All right. There are other things, there are other conditions we see frequently that I think you might ask for specifically in your next question. So I don't want to wander all over the place.
that is
But
fine.
depression, yeah, and behavior. So I talk a little about thought conditions, mood conditions. Behavioral conditions could be um, things like conduct disorder, right? Where society for us to live together, whether we live in the same house or live in the same town, we all have rules we live by. So if you have whether it's a child or an adult that refuses to live by those rules, it can become like a conduct disorder. Like, okay, we don't appreciate this kind of disorder. Where I come from, when an older person tell you to sit down, you sit down, right? Yeah, the way you talk to an elder, you bring your voice down and stuff. Or when you speak to an authority figure, and the police say put your hand up, you put your hand up, right? If your teacher say, do something, you do something. Now, if your behavior is contrary to those things that we all accept, that these are the rules in order for us to live in this house or live in this community or go to this school. Here are the rules that we all agree to live by. If you refuse to live by those rules, that also can become, an issue.
So Dr. Kwan, I want us to go back. I want to take you back to the jealousy issue.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I,
do. I was not supposed to talk about that, but let's go on.
I mean, I want to talk about it because I experienced it personally, and besides that,
Okay.
my environment, I mean, other people have experienced it that I'm aware of, but because
Okay.
I experienced it personally, like you said, some people, it can be man or a woman, okay,
Hmm.
who is just constantly jealous of his or her partner or friend. And it's like they are so jealous that I don't even know. It's not passionate. It's not even the word for it. It's like they are always looking for something that is not there. I mean, to the
Mm-hmm.
point they will work themselves up and be so angry. And the fact in their mind, they are telling themselves it is the fact, but it is not there. Nothing is proven. So does that mean that person have a little? Well, if that happened, we should check that person out, or
Yes. Yes. So jealousy can be a symptom of something wrong with the way you think. Most of us, yeah, some people have gut feelings, right? They say, "Oh, I got a gut feeling that this thing happened this way or that way." But even with the gut feeling, when you check things out and it clears out, right?
Mhm.
So then you say, "Oh, okay," that you move on. But if you believe something to be true, and then there is no I want to read what the mental health Bible says about it, so that you
Okay.
can hear exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that
Um,
yes. Mental health has a Bible, have their own Bible.
yes, we have what they call the DSM, and it's called the Mental Health Bible, because everything we're doing out there is supposed to be supported by evidence in this book, right? So they say the jealous type of delusion, they say this subtype applies when the central theme of the individual delusion is that his or her spouse or the lover is unfaithful to them, right? Now, when it becomes a delusion, when everybody have checked, when there's no evidence,
Nothing there.
right? And there's no evidence. So when there's no evidence, the normal person will say, "Okay, I will hold my heart until I find evidence,"
Mhm.
right? But they cannot insist that this thing is true if there's no evidence to it, right? And then there's also, like, it can be another condition that's called obsessions, right? Where a person can be obsessed that they will be cheated on, or they think they will be cheated on. And so sometimes they go over and above to put all kind of restrictions and all kind of stuff, even though you have not cheated yet, but in their mind, sooner or later you will. So then they start to make all kind of moves, all kind of decisions that in the end actually screw up the relationship that they were trying to protect,
Yes.
right? So everybody's jealous. If you love somebody, you're gonna be jealous over them, but it's within reason, right? And like I said, you remember when we talk about anxiety, what we say anxiety is when you worry too much about something you don't control. One thing you don't control is also your spouse, right? If they say I'm going to work, unless you get evidence they didn't go to work, they're going to work, right?
Yeah.
You can't be there like you're trying to figure out, okay, when you go to work, you will call me when you get it, and then every 2 hours you call to see whether they stay there, right? It's not like you call it to say, "Oh, I miss you, I love you," but the real reason you call it every 2 hours, every 1 hour, that just to make sure whether they're still there, right? So some of those, the way of thinking, that way of thinking is not okay. In the end, it actually breaks down the relationship. That's why it's a mental illness, because the thing that you are fighting for, you actually destroy it in that process.
Yeah.
So if you don't get help, you're gonna destroy the thing that you are fighting for.
And you know the sad thing about it? It's not normal.
No.
It's really not normal. And then you would tell this person, or I mean, it can be a friend, it can be a partner, it can be a relative or whatever. This is not normal. Go and seek help. But the person swear it is normal, you know? Why do you suffer yourself like that? And if you are listening out there and you are doing it to your partner or your or family member or your child or what have you, stop it. It's not normal. You can be that jealous until you torture yourself. It is not there. Don't look for something that is not there.
All right.
Yeah,
So, even though the Archbishop says stop it, one of the myths we want to dispel is that these people have the ability to just stop it, right? That's why it's
okay.
considered an illness. You need to seek help. There's a root cause behind why you feel that way, why you think that way. Now, maybe you are with Annie now, but maybe you are with Mary 5 years ago. Mary treated you that way. You
Wow.
have not processed it, and now you're treating Annie in the way Mary because Mary did something to you. So if you are treating Annie that way, that means you do not have the capacity to handle the thing by yourself, guys. It's not a shame. You go over there, you say, listen, the woman hurt me, and now I can't put it away. Now I'm treating this other new person as if they were the one that did the thing, right? Even the global conclusion where one person hurt you, and then now you think everybody will hurt you, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like because one woman cheated on you, now you think every woman can cheat, or one man cheated on you, now you think every man can cheat, right? So those global conclusions are also symptom of unprocessed trauma. So if you want to get back to the place you used to be, you need to talk to somebody. Let clean out all that dirt from your previous relationships and all that stuff, so that you can start anew. When people talk about if you find somebody you want to marry, when they talk about marriage counseling, they're not just to lecture about love. If you go to a real good counselor that know what they're doing, what they're trying to do is to restore you to that good and perfect person that is willing now to join with another good and perfect person. Because if you don't do that, all that baggage from all the previous relationships you might have had, or you heard about, or maybe you saw how your mom or your parent was treated, all that baggage is still there. If you don't process it and you get into a new relationship, you bring it all into that relationship. And just like the jealous guy we were talking about, the very thing you're fighting for, you might be the person that destroys it.
Yeah. And when you said clean it up, clean up that garbage and start afresh, it makes me to think about when you gain weight, right? You have to
Mm.
take all that clothes that um in the closet when you were size 3 and replace it with size 5 or size 7 because you can no more fit into that clothes. Or if you
Mm.
are a heavyweight person or a big bone person and you drop down to size 10, if you were size 12 or 14, you have to clean up the closet and put the size of clothes there. So when you're coming into a marriage, don't come with your old mindset or a relationship or even anything or friendship for that matter. Because it want to destroy the very thing that you cherish, that you say you cherish, the very thing that you said. Because I know a guy who said his relationship was the best thing that happened to him, or a lady, but then at the end of the day, the very thing that was the best thing that happened to him or her, it was what he or she was trying to destroy because of jealousy, because of insecurity, and what have you. So go and talk to Dr. Kwan if you are having these problems. To be honest, we are talking about it. It may not sound like something that is important, but it is. It have damaged a lot of people, good relationship or friendship, and what have you. Because why? You still have that thing carrying it. And that's what the Bible says. If you know you have something against your brother or your brother have something against you, leave your gift at the altar and go and make it right. So take it, clean up yourself, try at first. Yeah. So Dr. Pang, let's go to what is ADHD. I mean
D.
ADHD. A,
ADHD.
yeah, I've heard that.
Okay.
And is it only in children or is it in grown up as well? What is it?
Okay. So you're not alone. Most people out there think ADHD is something for children, but that is not true.
Okay.
Um, ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. There are three types. One type is impulsive type. People with the impulsive type, they are very impatient. They hate standing in line. They hate waiting for their turn. You know, when they want to talk, they just talk. Whether somebody else talking or not, they just start talking. Um, and then sometimes they blurt things out with little or no regards for the consequence of things they say. These are people that you go tell somebody to, you say that's secret, but then as soon as they get something, as soon as they see you, they remember, oh, you told me secret, and then blah, they just blurt it out. Or like you got a plan to do something, and then they just blurt it out, right? And these are people too that say, oh, like you know, I express myself. Whatever I feel, I talk. Me, I don't keep things, right? So it's like they saw you and you're looking fine. They tell, oh man, you're so beautiful. But they see you, you're not looking good. They tell you right there in the public too, hey, that thing went today. Not look good on you. So, anyways, the blood things out with little or no regards for the consequences of things that they say. There's the hyperactive type, and these are the people that are restless. They're going up and down a whole day. You see them, they gotta be doing something. They are either moving things around. When you make them sit down, you see them tapping their feet, or they got something in their hand, fidgeting with their hands. Sometimes they'll be rocking because it's just difficult for them to sit still. That's why hyperactivity is like some part of their body got to be moving all the time. Now, the thing though is when a child has the impulsive type or the hyperactive type, we can catch it early, right? Okay. So their school will catch it, the parents will catch it, say, "Yeah, they tired, yeah, I mean, they need help, right?" Now, the third type is the inattentive type. And these people, if you have the third type, you forget a lot, you know. You hear things and then like they say back home, it go in one ear and passes right through to the other side. It doesn't stay. You forget a lot. But they also get easily distracted. If they were doing something here and then something else is happening here, boo, that the place they go, they get distracted. But because they forget, once they get distracted with a second thing, they forget to come back and finish the first thing.
Mm.
So you see these people like they got a lot of unfinished projects. It takes them 3 or 4 days to complete the laundry because once they put the load in and then they get distracted by a second thing, laundry out of their mind totally, right? Um, they can walk into a room and then forget what they went for. They can go to class, spend 1 whole hour, and then when they come home and somebody asks them, so what did the teacher talk about today? They can't remember, right? So these are people you see they frequently lose, they misplace their keys or their pocketbooks or wallets because once they put it down, they forget where they put it. Now the issue is sometimes they call this one adult ADHD because it's hard to catch when if they only have the attention deficit as kids. It's hard to catch it. We just say, "Oh, that kid, he not serious. He not serious. Oh, that kid is stubborn," because you tell them to do something, and once you walk away and they get distracted by a second thing, they don't remember that thing you told them to do, and they don't do it. So we just say they're stubborn, they're lazy, uh, they're good for nothing. I mean, we cuss them out. We do all kind of stuff, and we don't know that they are not doing it intentionally. They are mostly forgetting. But as we grow, the kids themselves, when they get around teenage years, they themselves know now that they forget a lot. So if you see adults out there who always have a paper and pencil with them, anything they gotta do, they have to write it down. When you tell them, oh, so what they play for today, they take pen and write it down because they don't say no. If they don't write it down, they're gonna forget, right? That's an adaptation, but it's also a part of ADHD. So, like I said, there are three types. Sometimes a person can have one type, two types, or all three at the same time. So ADHD is not just limited to kids. It's just that when the kids have the impulsive or hyperactive types, we catch it early. But when the kid has the attention deficit type, we don't catch it at all. We give them some names, and then as they grow, they don't start to adapt, right? So you'll see certain people have a place when they enter their house, they gotta hang the key to a certain place all the time.
Mhm.
If you go to their house and you move that key from there and put it on top of the table, they
Okay.
would not be able to find it at all because now they already got their system and nobody will mess with it because as soon as you move one thing to a different place, they will not remember. Even if you told them, hey, I move your key and I put it on the table, they will forget you said that. So they come out as we grow, they come out with these routines. So if you get some adults that have a certain routines and they have to go by those routines, sometimes it's not OCD, it's just their way of adapting to the fact that they recognize that if they don't go by the routines, they will forget. And so people with attention deficit uh, disorder, they forget a lot and they get easily distracted. And the combination of those two things give them a very hard time. Oh, one other thing the people with attention deficit disorder do too is they procrastinate. If there's an assignment or something they want to do that requires them to actually think a lot, they'll postpone that thing all the way to the deadline because they just have difficulties sitting down and doing something that takes a long time, right? You will also see if you walk into the room and you see somebody got a TV on, their phone on, and their laptop on, and they're reading a book, right? It's like, okay, that's a classic sign as well because it's like their brain needs a lot of stimulation, but unlike what people think, they are not watching all those four things at the same time, right? If they get something on their phone, something on the TV, something on the laptop, it's because they cannot sustain their attention on one thing too long. So they go on their phone, they do small thing there, but few minutes later, it's not interesting again. They gotta look at the TV small. And then a few minutes later, they gotta look at the other thing small, right? Or they gotta read the assignment small. You get a 1 hour assignment, it takes them 4 hours to do it because they just can't sit down and focus that long. So they will look for other stimulations to keep stimulating their brain and come back and do this stuff. And it takes them that long to do anything that requires a lot of thinking. So no, ADHD is not just for children, but the one we see mostly in adults is the attention deficit disorder.
Because I see some people, I've worked with people in the past who every little thing they got sticky note all over the place. So then before I really started we started discussing this whole mental health thing, before I'll be like by myself, why they always got sticky note just all over the place? Every little thing they write it down, you know, and got it sticking it here, sticking it. Can she or he remember why he have to keep writing things down? So now I understand the reason. But I want us to go in the comment section here a little bit, Dr. Pan.
All
Um,
right.
and we start with Pastor David Young. He said, "Thank you so much for this program." I think he's very interested in this program tonight. Jonetta say EMN one and only doctor, man, the friendly educator. She gave you another name, Dr. Pan, tonight. The friendly,
Friendly educator.
yeah.
You know, next time I come here, I'll bring a bag so I put all my names in, all my titles inside.
Right there. EMN one
Uh,
that man, the friendly educator. Okay, and then we go to Pastor David Young. He said mental health programs in America is a reality, and some families manipulate it as a means of survival. This is a hard statement I have to make. A lot of young people and older people take advantage of the program to fake an action just to get the SSR money, and finally becomes a reality as a mental health issue. Dr. Kwan, what do you say about that? Pass?
well, you know, I can say it is not true, but then I can also say, for example, if we live in this country and your idea of survival is to fake a chronic condition so you can get disability check, then you actually do have some kind of mental problem,
Yeah.
right? And in order for Social Security to actually approve you as being disabled due to mental illness, you know, you have to be seen by a licensed, qualified psychiatrist or psychiatric NP that will do the assessment. And sometimes when they're not sure about that, they hire their own psychiatrist to do the assessment as well. So if a person tries to apply for Social Security disability only on the condition of being mentally ill, it takes a minimum of 2 years minimum to qualify, right?
Mhm.
And you will have to show some kind of evidence in that 2 years of your being, diagnosed by a qualified practitioners, being on treatment and all that stuff, right? So if a person that think they're normal figure out that this is a way to survive on the system, I would say that's evidence that they're not thinking okay.
Yeah, not normal, normal.
Hmm. They're not
They,
capital normal. Uh,
okay, so we have Sis Yar. Welcome, my love. She say hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. Um, Pastor David Young is here again. The drug pandemic is a America in America has become a hot cake for every hospital and the dealers. Dealers sell drugs and patients keep coming in and out of the hospital. And we as mental health counselors go through terrible times managing this situation. Oh, so he knows what he's talking about. Dr.
mhm.
Kwao, what
Well, the fact that we have a drug problem in the country is not a secret, right? Um, it's one of those things like the chicken and the egg. Which one came first, right?
mm,
The drug dealers bring drugs because there are people who buy it, right? So
yeah,
there's a market for it. Now, if we blame the drug dealers, it's like, okay, the people that want the drugs or that think they need the drugs, what you gonna do with them? because as long as there's a market for it, you can arrest one drug dealer, a different one will come to sell it. So the problem is with the people who think they need these drugs in order to survive, right? And it is also a sign of hopelessness, right? You will see as you are raising your own children, you will see that the one will say, "Oh, when you grow big, where you will be?" And say, "I'll become a doctor. I'll become an engineer. I'll do the one they want." Right? Those ones, they you don't have to talk a lot to them about drugs. There's exception to all the rules, but basically the idea is when people have hope for a better future, right? They try not to get into that area. Now, when you have a society where you have a significant amount of people who don't have hope in the system, like if you got people that say, if I sometimes they say, "Man, I've done everything right and I'm still going nowhere," right? So the use of illicit drugs is a sign that society is getting hopeless, because people who have plans to get up tomorrow morning and go to work tonight, they're careful what they put in their body, right? Yesterday, like Saturday or Friday night, if you got a weekend off, you go to a party, you can drink and maybe drink a little more than usual because you know you're coming home to sleep and you don't work on the weekend, right? Now, but if you have a person that has no job, they've applied to three, four different places and they all said no, right? And maybe they said no because the person has a criminal record when they were 18, 19. Now they're 25, 26. They've tried to correct all their errors and still nobody will give them a chance. They should not admit like, okay, I want to just drink something or smoke something or do something so I don't have to worry about how miserable my life is and the fact that I don't have any hope that things will get better tomorrow, right? So, like for example, if we really want to deal with how much drugs is in the community, we can blame the drug dealers or even the people using the drug. We just have to figure out how we can provide hope for these people, right? Because if they got hope, if somebody know they're gonna get up and go to work tomorrow, they're very careful on what they're gonna use tonight, right? But if they don't have any hope for a better future, then it's just hard to tell them you can't do this, you can't do that. It's something can put them out of their miserable frame of mind for some time. But that is just one set of the explanation of why we got drugs in the system. I like this one better because that's where the source is. If you hit it at the source, they get people that do meth using just things like Drano and the cleaning materials we use to clean the bathroom. If they ain't got no way to go get a meth from a dealer, they make their own in the bathroom using cleaning materials and put them out of their miserable life for a couple of hours or for some time. So then, as long as the demand is there, drugs will always be in the system. The way to get rid of the drugs is to get rid of the demand. Okay, they can bring a whole truckload of drugs in your town and nobody buys it. They just move to the next town,
Yeah.
right? The only reason they're hanging out in our town is people are buying it and they're
Bye.
making profit.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go to the next discussion, the next question or comment here. And that's from my mommy. She said, Davy, all of the mental health, all of the mental illness today stem from is that mothers who do drugs during pregnancy. These babies are born with drug addiction, and as they become teens or adults, some fall into mental illness, hear voices talks to themselves, etc. Can you address this behavior, Dr. Kwan, Dr. Sam? So when you hear Dr.
Yes.
Sam, you know that that's an older person.
hmm
Mhm.
So it's true. What grandma says. There are some people, like from conception to week 21 of the pregnancy, anything that the mother takes impacts the fetus significantly. Any drugs, whether it's medication that was prescribed or is drugs from the street, um, until like until after week 21, right? When some of the body the main organs of the body, including the neural tubes and stuff like that, have formed, right? Anything, because you remember the body is using whatever is in the mom's system to make this new baby, right? So then, if there are other things that are not natural to the mom that are introduced to the mom, there's a potential for it to negatively impact the fetus. So yes, there are some babies that are born that are actually at birth they are actually high, right, from the drugs their mom took, right? And that would probably mean that if the mom was doing those drugs in the first trimester or the beginning of the second trimester, it probably means their brain was not formed correctly, right? Or parts of their body systems were not formed correctly. There are people who are born that way. There are also, exceptions to every rule. There are some people born that way whose moms would do stuff like that and they still come out normal. But the advice is once you know that you're pregnant, you need to talk to your doctor. If you don't have a doctor, go see one. And they will tell you whether they think if you are taking anything. Well, there are certain medications that might be safe, right? And then there are certain medication where the doctor the book says, well, the doctor needs to weigh the consequence of stopping the meds to the possibility of the med negatively impacting the baby. But this is like an individualized thing. On a global scale, a pregnant woman should not take anything in her system that is not natural to her body, right? That includes drugs. There's certain type of foods and all that stuff. But it is so individualized such that if a person gets pregnant, you just find a close doctor. Even if there's no OBGYN in your town or your stuff, go to any doctor and say, hey, I just found out I'm pregnant. Yeah, the medications I'm on, or yeah, the kind of drugs I'm taking, and let them advise you.
Okay, that's Dr. Kwan doing his thing. Um, welcome to
Yeah, that's the scam guy again.
yeah, welcome is from another the other platform. I forgot the name of
Okay.
what platform. Yeah, that's
Oh,
a viewer from one of the other platforms. I
oh,
think it's from
sorry for saying scam.
yeah, I think from X Factor or what have you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome.
Welcome. And we're happy to have you. Thanks for always being here. And then we have Sis Ya. She said, I will schedule a session with you. Oh, man of God. Ah, man of God.
I already I put in my bag too.
Sis Ya, Dr. Pa is very, I mean, like Pujubu say, what the word she gave you? Friendly educator. Yeah, he knows his stuff. Okay, so here come Michael Walker. We want to say welcome. He say hello, everyone. Welcome, my love. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Michael, my birthday is in March. Next year, I need one song from you too.
Oh, jealous people, jealous people.
Hey,
So
now I get evidence that a man can make birthday songs. So my own jealousy is not psychotic.
Dr. Pai is putting in his request early for next year.
Early next year, March.
Time to you see all his names and his personality and personalities and everything.
Mm,
Make sure you cook that song for Dr. Kwan.
mm.
Second the motion, Dr. Kwan. Yeah,
Thank you, Apostle.
yeah. So Pastor David Young is here again. He said many of them come to us and say, I want to buy myself or kill myself. And when we admit them later, they want a doctor's note and want to be discharged the next day. They work.
Yeah. All right. That's true. That is true. But unlike Dr. Young, I would say, Reverend Young, I want to say, is it a personal problem or is it a societal problem? If you have a society where we will only take care of these people when they can say, I want to, do something to myself, right? But then when they say that, then we grab them, we give them a warm sleeping place, we give them food for that night, right? Right. But if they don't say that, we check them out. We say, "Oh, you're not crazy, man. Oh, you're not safety thing," and then we send them back. Maybe they're just looking for food. Maybe
Yeah.
they just want a warm place to eat that night, and we ain't got no other place except the hospital. So I work for the state mental health hospital for 12 years, and then the university hospital mental health department for 7 years. And I'm telling you, we don't have a system that take care of these people that need the help they need. So they too have figured out what to say to get
Mhm.
what they want,
What they want.
right? Because sometimes if a person comes to you and say I'm suicidal and you admit them and the next day they want to go home, maybe all they wanted was a place to sleep that night and all the shelters were full. Somebody in the shelter told them, hey, you go to the ER. If you use, there are certain words you use and the ER can send you back home, right? And they know it. They've been in the system for a long time. So it's like, okay, what we need to do, like for example, the city of Montreal in Canada does not have a single homeless person, right? They figure out, hey, if we find a home for some of these people, they will actually become productive, right? So they did an experiment. It's the only city in this Western Hemisphere that does not have a homeless population, right? Because if a person spent 3 days in the ED, it costs over $60,000, right? But we can pay their rent for $30,000 for a whole year, or maybe even less than $30,000. So we as a society, though, we don't have a problem paying the ER, $60,000 4 times a year. When this person go to the ER and say, I'm suicidal, we don't have a problem paying them that money. That's like what, $240,000 for 12 days in the ER in a year. You think that $240,000, if we had a better society, you think it can put up a house that got 4 beds that takes 4 homeless people off the street, and then we're not burdening the ER so that people who actually need emergency care will have a bed and place to stay? We can. But it's a whole different way of thinking. It's not common yet, but to me, if a person has to come to the ER or to a locked unit to stay for one day and then the next day they say, oh, I'm free now, I want to go home. We have a bigger problem than just somebody trying to corner a system. They have just figured out what works and they're utilizing what works. Because if they came to us and say, man, I haven't eaten today, there's no place that's available to give them that food or one place to stay. So they go to the hospital. But we created the system. They didn't do that.
Hmm. Okay. It's it's Pastor David Young again. He
I
said
know.
he said haha, and they don't want any medication from the doctor. They just want to be discharged.
That's what
Man,
I said.
we need to pray for them.
I just explained it. We don't need to pray for them. We need to find them a sleeping place, right? That person did not need medication. They need a safe place to sleep that night, right? You can pray all you want, but if he does not find a safe place next weekend to sleep, he gonna come back. He needs a safe place to sleep. He does not need medication. So he comes to the place. We give him a safe, warm place to sleep. We give him breakfast in the morning. He say, well, that's all I needed. I want to go. Right? So if we do not get to the root of the problem, we'll continue to address the shadows, like the symptom. That person probably they need any medication. They just need a safe place to sleep, and the hospital was the only place available because the shelters we have here, by the time it's 6 p.m., all the shelters are full. It's a first come, first served basis.
So Dr. Kwan, let's talk about the difference between sadness and depression. But I also want to add, and you can take your time and talk about it. I also want to add grief to it. If a person
Mhm.
gets depressed after losing a loved one or is faced with adversity and they are into deep and which send them into depression, is that mental illness? So you have those questions. We talk about the difference between sadness and depression, and we talk about grief, right? And whether it's mental
Mhm.
illness, if some situation cause a person to go into depression, is would that be mental illness or what?
All right. Um, so remember to be clinically depressed, you have to have this low mood coupled with a loss of interest in things you once enjoyed doing, or even when you did those things, it still didn't make you happy, and it has to last for 2 weeks or longer, right? So
Mhm.
sadness usually does not last that long, right? You hear bad news today, and, depending on how bad the news is, you might, oh my God, and then you put your little face on and stuff like that. But then by the time they day over here, you back to your normal routine. Maybe you go for 2, 3 days, but then you back to your normal routine, right? So it does not meet criteria for clinical depression unless it lasts every day for 2 weeks or longer. Then now that whatever the cause of the sadness is, now it is gotten to a place where it needs clinical attention. I was looking for some kind of sheet to see. So let's say if we were to draw a mood line, that's a straight line, right? It's like everybody mood goes up and down the whole day. You wake up in the morning, it's summer, the sun up, you're like, yay, and then say you gotta go to work, and then you go take a shower, you put your best music on, yay, and then you get in traffic, right? Our mood goes up and down the whole day. But it's transient. It's going up and down, all up and down. Up. Your best friend call you, say, "Yeah," he said, "We got a party this weekend." You say, "Yeah," you're happy, and then you go low. Oh, I gotta buy new shoe, new dress, new pocketbook, and your mood goes down. So that's how the normal mood goes. People with depression, though, when their mood goes down, it gets stuck, right? It gets stuck, it doesn't come back up. They stay down there for a while. It takes some time or treatment for it to come back up. It does not come back up by itself automatically that the way it does for the people that don't have depression, right? So that's the thing about it. But remember, sadness does not happen every day for 2 weeks in a row. Then that one has gone beyond sadness now. It's got into the realm of clinical depression.
or
So the
even
difference between sadness and depression is sadness is temporary, right? And usually sadness is also dependent on a particular situation, right? Sometimes people who are depressed, even though they get triggered, but sometimes it's like they don't even know why their mood just down like that, right? And it just can't come up, right? So you hear them say blue, they feel blue, or let's say they stuck down there and stuff like that. But sadness is temporary and does not last for 2 weeks. Now we talk about grief. Now, when somebody that you are close to or that you love passes away, or sometimes people don't they grieve by other things that are not human being. It might be a pet. You and your dog, you're being together for a long time. The dog been taking care of you, your cat, and people grieve about things. Like some people, like their car, they got names for their car, and then one day they total it. So, but grieving it though is a loss of something that's dear to you, right? Now, I would say there are two phases of grieving. It is normal for you to feel down when something that's or somebody that's close to you is gone, right? But I put grieving in two phases. The first phase of grieving is actually self-centered, right? We are grieving for ourselves. We it's like you are thinking, oh, what will I do now? How can I go on without this person? Oh, who will call me at this time? Who will fix my best up again? Right? It's all about you. You just lost somebody that was valued to you, and all that crying you're doing is that because there's a void created by that person that passed away, and now you're doing that crying for yourself. Something that used to be there, something that you were used to, is now gone, and now you have a void. Now, there's a second phase of grieving, which is actually about that person. It's no longer about you. You have probably figured out now how to move on, and the person was your best G's, uh, uh, your your best G's person, right? You have found a new BFF. You'll get new G's now. You can talk about, right? But you've learned to move on, and now that second phase of grieving will be now you're thinking about that person. The way you see some people will be like, oh, that person always wanted to go to this place, but they never made it and they passed away. So I will make that trip in their honor. You see, some people will give a scholarship in that person's name and say, I don't want that name to die, so I will give a scholarship or make a donation to this place. I will do something in memoriam of that person. So, so grieving, the first phase that you are doing for yourself is also supposed to be temporary because it's like part of us as living beings is like we move on. I don't care how much you love that dead person. After a time, you learn to move on. Now, if you get stuck in that place where I said the person, the death of that person or that thing created a void. If you are unable to move on, right? If you are unable to fill that void after a certain period, then it starts to become a clinical problem, right? Because now you need help to fill that void. You can't do it by yourself. Now, it might be a different time for different people, but if you are still grieving in a way that's like 2 years later, right? Then it gets into a category that called prolonged grieving, right? Because there are certain people that are just going to be hard to replace, right? But you will only be grieving now, like maybe on a birthday or on a certain holiday or something, but you're still moving on with life. Even though you have not found somebody or something to fill that void, you only remember them periodically. It's not like an everyday thing. If you are grieving and you're still crying and have not replaced that person and you're doing it every day and it goes for months, you need to seek help, right? Everybody, how long it goes is different from for everybody, but for certain
Yes.
people, if the grief starts to impact how you function, then it becomes a clinical concern.
All right. So let's see. Pastor David Young is here. He said, "Yeah, I'm surprised when I saw dog grieve.
Yeah. Uh,
A dog was grieving, or the person was.
No, no, no. Some people, when the dog died, they actually buried them in a graveyard.
Oh yeah, dog grief.
Yeah.
Okay, but of course, because if people have dogs at home, right, and it takes care of these dogs, I've heard where people die and leave their heritage to a dog or leave something to a dog as well. So
Hmm.
it's not fair enough for the dog to have
Hmm.
graveyard.
There,
Yeah.
there are people here who are closer to their dogs than any other human being. There are people here who trust their cat or their dog more than another human being. So, because it is a living thing, and you have that emotional connection to it, yeah, they have funeral and all. There are also, if you go to the graveyard, there are also people who have miscarriages and they still bury their fetus too, even though the child was not born yet, but they still consider it a being, and they have funeral services for them too.
Yeah. I think people choose to move or do things the way that they want to, that will bring them peace. Um, yeah, give them that comfort that they are looking for. Whatever way they choose, though, I think we all have the right to choose how we want to grieve about something, or how what we want
Yeah.
to do.
And what you grieve is up to you. Grieving is just an emotional response to the loss of something. So whether you lost a person or you lost a thing or a pet, grieving is just your response, your emotional response to losing something, right? That you were emotionally attached to.
So, Dr. Kwam, Pastor David Young is here again tonight. He having fun in the comment section. I can
Yeah.
see. Yeah, but then when they die, can the dog or cat bury them? Why people do
I will ask Pastor Young the same thing. The people you cry for, you think if you were to die, you think they will bury you? I'm not sure, right? Some of the people we're crying for when we die, they'll probably not even come. I work in the weekend, and they will not show up. So that one cannot be used as a criteria. Or some people they still in Liberia, they didn't get visa or ticket to come and do the burial. So uh, that would not be a criteria to say you will grieve or you will do for people what they would do back for you. Grief is just like I say, an emotional response for losing something or somebody that is close to you. People can grieve for a lot of things, even their computers sometimes and their cars. They got some people with their old cars still in their garage. They have not used it for 15, 20 years, but they can turn that car to a junkyard because they and that car got a story and they're not willing to let the car go. So it's just parked there. They're not using it, but they can't let it go because they have an emotional attachment to it.
Yeah. Okay, so you talk about emotional attachment. We are winding down here. What's the difference? And some of these words you already talk about them. I think you talk about anxiety, panic attack. You mentioned stress, I assume. But let's talk about the difference between nervous breakdown, craziness. You talk about psychosis. You already did that, and spirituality. Let's talk about the difference between those.
All right. So the apostle will not let the spirituality thing go. All right. So there is a very thin line, right, between mental illness and spirituality, right? Because the whole idea there is where most of the spiritual things we cannot judge them by our carnal means, right? So, for example, if Pastor Young were to say, God told me something today, I ain't got no way of proving or disproving that, right? And remember, we had said hallucinations is auditory hallucination would be like when somebody hears something that the people right next to you cannot hear, right? So let's say Reverend Young and I, we sit on the same bench, and then you get her and say, "Hey, hallelujah. God just told me something," right? So then it's like, okay, as a mental health professional, I'm sitting right next to you. I ain't hear no voice, but is that hallucination or is that spirituality? I don't know. But here's what I said. The last time when we had this topic, it was like, okay, when people are hearing things, right? And they say it's from God, it's supposed to lead to some kind of revelation or some kind of productivity, some kind of impactful change. It will either be in them or in the people that they gave the message to, right? Now, so, but if you are hearing voices that people around you don't hear, it falls into the realm of a psychotic uh, 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 disorder. Now, let's say, how about people who prophesy, right? Like, there was this lady in Liberia, like in the 80s, like somewhere around 1988, 89, who used to just come on the street and say, "Hey, I see blood everywhere. I see people dying on the street." And right? And this was Liberia had never seen war before. And she came on the street and kept warning people and kept warning people this is what she saw. And by the end of 1988, everybody was calling her crazy, right? And then by the end of 89, war started in Liberia, right? So that's why there's this fine line between spirituality and mental illness. Is like, okay, for her, she later on got justified because the blood on the street, dead people on the street that she was seeing for 2 years in advance, she started warning the people. Then it happened. And then, that also happens in science. There are things in science that people used to think the world was flat. And then until they investigated, somebody got in a ship, they went one end of the world and returned on from the other side, like, oh, it's not flat, it's round, right? So the in science, as just as in spirituality, if if you are hearing from God, or if the thing you are saying is spiritual, it shall come to pass sooner or later, and that will be the evidence we're looking for. But until we find the evidence, most of the spiritual things that we hear, if it is not edifying your congregation, is not edifying yourself, then I'm not sure if the person you're hearing from is God or that you are actually hearing from God. So that there's that thin line. I don't want to rule out to say anytime somebody come up and say the spiritual is fake or is mental illness, because I am aware of evidence that most of the time, even when Jesus himself came, right? Now, one of the reasons the Jews crucify is that, man, you've been talking about you bringing a new kingdom and you came to save people, but the Romans are here, they still beating people on the street, and you ain't saved nobody yet, right? And they got mad at him. So sometimes the thing, I don't want to rule out spiritual things as being mental illnesses. There are some. There are people who are actually psychotic, and then they prophesy too, right? In the middle of their psychosis. So there's a very thin line there. God is still doing stuff. We don't know why, how. I don't want to get to that part. But if we do not have evidence, right, to the things that you are saying, and if you are saying things that you are considered spiritual, but it's not backed by the Bible, and your own prophecy is not something that is written in the Bible, then it's questionable. All right. Now you talk about mental breakdown or nervous breakdown.
Let's break down. Yeah.
All right. So, in clinical terms, we call it a psychotic break or a brief psychotic disorder. And there's several reasons that can happen. Some people have a nervous breakdown just from stress. They allow their anxiety, or another word for anxiety is also stress, right? So
Mhm.
they allow their stress to go all the way up, and then something snaps, right? So then they can have a brief psychotic condition. Usually it's brief because it lasts less than a month. If they go to treatment, they get treatment, they get back to normal within 2 weeks, and it don't happen no more, right? That the nervous breakdown, it can be caused by stress. Sometimes it's caused by drugs, right? Somebody that try a drug before, your first time trying a drug, and your body does not know what this thing is you took and they know how to react to it. Some people have psychotic breaks or nervous breakdown because they took some kind of substance that their body is reacting to. Now, if that was the cause of your breakdown, most systems will most drug will get out of your systems within a week, or the ones that last more than a week. After a week, they're not potent enough, even though they're still in your system, but they're not potent enough to still keep you into that illogical state of mind, right? So, nervous breakdown can be caused by stress, it can be caused by drugs, it can be caused by something else, like some kind of infectious disease or something else happening into your system that your body cannot deal with, right? So basically, it's like something getting into your brain. Either your brain does not know how to handle it, or it screws up how your brain circuitry works, and you have this breakdown. So a nervous breakdown is supposed to be maybe a once or twice in a lifetime thing. If you're having nervous breakdown frequently, you actually have some kind of issue you need to go deal with, so that they let you know what that thing is, and then you get ahead of the curve, because that's something good for your health. But stress or anxiety, uncontrolled anxiety, is one of the biggest promulgators of nervous breakdown or psychotic breaks, and drugs, the second most popular one.
Okay, so quickly we are winding down here. I have one more question for you, Dr. Kwan, and then your parting statement. I want to recognize a couple of people here quickly. I see my sister Napa Roberts is on here. She said hi, sis. Hi, Napa. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the support. I also see my brother and pastor from Europe, Pastor Trinity Delaney. Thanks for being here. I'm so happy to see you on. Hope you come on more often. But thanks for the support. I also see um, Queen Vero is watching. She was here last week. I think we noticed her last week, and she's back on this week. Thank you for being here. Thanks for the support. If you are just watching, we are talking about mental health 101. What is mental illness? And Dr. Pang is here breaking it down in the most simplest way for us to understand the different steps and the different causes and all of that. So, thanks for being here. Let's see who else that I'm missing. So please like, share, and comment. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. Pujupu is still watching here in the comment section. Uh, her heart is burning, but she's there. We can't help it. Okay, so we have Pastor David Young. Pastor David Young is enjoying himself here today. He said, "Thank you so much for lessons well learned, and thank God to be a part of this program today. We have a bad day today for our church because my hair pastor
Mm.
wife passed away today on the birthday of his mom. Please pray
Oh.
for church in Chicago."
Whew. That is not good.
Yes.
Pastor Young, our prayers come with you and your congregation, especially your pastor. Um, I don't think there's any good day to die, but when a person dies, like on an anniversary, birthday, or a specific holiday, it makes the grieving process kind of hard, to let go because I mean, every time that anniversary comes, you know, anytime mom birthday comes, now you gotta be thinking about his wife's death, and now you gotta choose whether to celebrate the mom's life or the wife's life. That's a bad place for any person to be in, and we
Wow.
hope God will give him the grace he needs. Um, I can tell you from my own testimony that you know things like that can turn out in the future to be like, okay, maybe it now makes sense because when people come to him for counseling or for something that have similar problem, and then he say, my man, I know what you're going through, it will actually be coming from his heart, not from a book or something. And so when we are speaking from the heart, it actually has a bigger impact. So I know he's in a bad place tonight, but let him know God is still in charge, and we may not understand what he's doing now, but we will all understand it by and by.
Yes. Yes. What is the name of the church? Now, if you are listening and you want to call in to give your comment or say something, the number to call is 612-426-1353. Again, we are talking about mental health 101. What is mental illness? So the number again is 612-426-1353. What's the name of the church, Dad? He asked for prayer. So, Dr. Kwan, we want to say a quick prayer here. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we want to give Pastor David Young's church into your hands. That is in Chicago. We don't know the name, but you know the name. There is no distance in prayer. We give his head pastor to you, who wife passed away today, and on is on the birthday of his mom. So we pray, Lord, that you will take control. You will comfort the bereaved family. Hmm. Comfort the pastor who is always there to comfort others. Now he needs you to comfort him. So, Father, we also pray for the rest of the family and even the church as a whole, the members in the church, that you would give them comfort, you would give them the courage to hold on and bring them even closer together during this time of bereavement. We thank you for answering our prayers and we give you the praise. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
so as we wind down, we're coming to an end here. If a listener is worried about a friend or family member, Dr. Pan, what are the best ways to approach the conversation without being judgmental or overstepping boundaries?
Okay. Um, Depending on your relationship with the person, just noticing, right? Just noticing that things are not okay, right? Like sometimes people, depending on their headspace, they can't tell whether things are okay with them or not. But all the things say they're handling it, I got this. But when somebody else notices, sometimes a light bulb come on. If you were to me and say, man, you know, the last couple of weeks I've been watching you, it looked like something not okay. Is there something you want to talk about, right? If they say no, you say, okay, I just want to let you know that I'm here. You know, I'm here. If you want to talk, I'll be here for you. And also let you know that, Dr. Sam from Emily Myers Network is a safe place where you can go and just get some of those things out of your system, because as long as we are keeping it in, it continues to negatively impact our whole body systems, right? So it's the depression is not just in your head. If you stay down too long, it starts to impact the rest of your body systems. So if you don't want, I'm here for you. If you don't want to talk to me, but yeah, some places you can call Pastor Young, call Grandma Annie. You need to talk to somebody, right? So you can get some of that thing out. If you got friends, if you got relatives, God put you in that circle for a reason so that they can be there as a support for you. If you don't want to use that as support, because sometimes we don't want to tell people that know us our problem because we're not sure they're going to keep it,
Yeah.
then that's where we come in. So there's a law. It's not just me because you don't know me, but there's a law that says once you carry my office as a patient, whatever we talk over there stays there, right? What we talk over there stays there. I mean, there's only two exceptions to that. One, if if there's a court order that say I want to hear what that person talk about, then I have to decide based on the information whether it's something. If I refuse to turn it over, the court can jail me for that, right? And then if you came and say you want to kill yourself or you got plans to kill yourself or to kill somebody, I have to take some steps to make sure that does not happen, which means I have to talk to some other people. Other than those two exceptions, anything we talk inside there stays there. If there's any evidence that the things you talk inside therapy, whoever your therapist was, you heard it outside of that therapy session, you can actually sue the person for harm. So this is a place where you can come and feel safe and you talk, right? Now, if you are a relative of a person that they become a safety risk. Either they are threatening to harm themselves or to harm other people. It's okay to call. Okay, I was about to say it's okay to call the police, but then tell the police it's a mental health thing, right? This person, something's going on, they're threatening to hurt themselves or hurt other people, but it's a mental health thing. Most of the police are now trained. If you use that word, it's a mental health thing. Sometimes they'll send a mental health professional with the police, or when the police get that person, they take them to the hospital instead of to the police station. But those are the people that are trained to do it. Because this is America, we cannot hold people against their will unless for that one reason only. If the person wants to hurt themselves or hurt other people, that's the one reason that we can hold a person against their will. So, like Pastor Young was saying earlier, people come to the hospital and say, "Oh, I'm suicidal," and then we have to hold them and do a further assessment. If you think, say, the way your family member is going, they might end up doing something that harm themselves or harm somebody, or they tell you, like, you know what, life is no longer worth living. I don't have a reason to be alive no more. Like those are clues that you can get that will make you seek help, and we are able to hold that person and check them out and make sure they are not just talking things, make sure they don't have a way or plan to actually carry out what they are thinking, and then return back to you. But safety first. So if you hear anybody talking about life is no longer worth living, I don't even have a good reason to be here. I think things would be better if I was dead. And all those things, when you hear it, take it seriously, because that's sometimes their way of telling you whatever I'm going through is really serious, right? So when you hear those things, people don't say those things just easily. They're just trying to let you know that whatever they are going through, they can't handle it. And that's where you help them to get help. If you have some way of saying that this is actually serious, right? You can call 911 and get them to a hospital, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, so Dr. Pa is here. We don't have Pujupu here, and I don't have the flyer. Dr. Pa, while I'm reading this question, I would like for you to drop your clinic name here and the number, so that people can reach you. We have Dr. Pa, who is our Liberian brother, doctor. Um, uh, what did she say? What a name she added? Educator. Dr. Pa, what your other name? Um,
Just for today or all the time being here, because our whole list.
that's what give you a name. I don't know. Someone like educator, single
Um,
educator, or someone like educator. But Dr. Pa is he's very down to earth. He's a very humble man. He's someone you can trust from the time we have been working with him. He's committed to y'all. Except Dr. Pa have something to do. Dr. Pa is always on here. And that's commitment to take your Sunday evening. He has his family, he has things to do, but he's always on here every Sunday because he wants to be able to communicate, I mean, to educate his community, his black and brown community, and also create an awareness of things. Friendly educator, thanks, Dad. Yeah, so your name is Friendly Educator, Dr.
I
Palm.
come and write it down.
Yeah, you can call Dr. Palm. Dr. Palm, you didn't put the name there, you didn't put the number of essential.
I put the number, but I block it.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so upon you can I'm sure you can find it, you can Google it, you can find it. It's a essential care center. So Call Dr. Kwan, talk to him, and you don't have to be here in Minnesota. You can be anywhere. He will talk to you, and y'all will take it from there. But this is his field, this is his area. We are talking about mental health 101. What is mental illness, and who's the best person to talk about it for Dr. Kwan? So that's what we talk about today. Please support your own brother. Even some of the things we miss when we are in need, then we look for our own Liberian brother or sister to go to and talk to. And even if it have to do with crediting and what have you, we go to them. But you have not supported them once. You don't take your business to them. You don't support them. You don't even do anything as a sign of support. But when you are in need, then you know you have a Liberian brother or sister who is in business that is able to help you. But I think if you start to support that person and help the person now, tomorrow down the line, the person can say, "Oh, okay, yes, there's some help I can give you because you've been supporting me." But don't come to me and ask for help when you have not supported me at all in anything I'm doing. It's wrong. I think is spiritual weakness. So don't do that. So let's support our brother, Dr. Palm. His business is his clinic, mental health clinic is Essential Care Center. The number he said it blocked it, but
It's
once you
612 four
6 1,
four one two
the
zero two
put
four.
it, call it. Let me put it in and see whether it's going to block 612
441 2024.
2024. Um, okay, so there you have it. 612, right?
Mm-hmm.
441.
441 2024.
That's Essential Care Centers. And the number is 612-441-2024. Call Dr. Kwan. We got a discount. Once you call EMN, we got the code. That's the code. He will take care of you. We trust him. I can vouch for him. You can take that to the bank because I've dealt with him. And you yourself have seen him on this platform over and over every Sunday. His commitment. 5 cents, nobody getting 5 cents, but we have committed ourselves to do this. And so that shows that you can trust us. So if you don't remember, call me. Um, our number is 612 426 1353. Call or send a message and stuff. We will get to Dr. Pan. So please, let's support Dr. Pan as much as possible. If you know a friend, you know anybody, this mental health thing is going around with young people, old people, and what have you. We have family members, we have friends, we have people around us, and we see that all the time. So Dr. Kwan is the guy to talk to. Dr. Kwan, we are closing now. What would be your parting statement, sir?
All right. So to close, I want to dispel common myths about mental illnesses, right? Um, Having a mental illness is not a sign of weakness, right? Coming to see a mental health provider is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a sign of strength and a sign of logic, right? If you have problem, you find solution. To have problem and then not find solution to it, that would be a sign of weakness. But seeking help when you have a problem, that is not a sign of weakness. Number two, um, sometimes people when people say I'm depressed, say, oh, you gotta go shopping or something, right? Or when people say I'm having some issue with PTSD or something like that, the mental illness is not something that people can just make up their mind and then disappear. It is an actual condition like where you get diabetes, you get cancer, and stuff like that. These mental illnesses are real and they require treatment. Not everybody that is mentally ill takes medication. Some of the conditions people have, we're able to rectify it just by therapy, talk therapy. right? Not everybody requires medication, but you need to go talk to a professional and then figure it out, right? Another one is I've had some parents that don't want to bring their children because as soon as see mental illness on a person record, they'll not get good job. That's a lie. Um, there are a couple of jobs in the country that you may not, depending on what type of mental illness, right? So let's say if you wanted to be a pilot for a commercial plane, now get 300 people inside. There's certain type of mental illness when you have those people will be like, we know, we don't want the person in a tube like 50,000 feet up there and they have a breakdown, right? Or but other than that, like I say, 84% of the people we see, they got a mental condition. And some of my patients are also psychiatrists, they are doctors, nurses, teachers, right? So these people have good careers and they still get the help they need. I can assure you though, if you do not get the help, you will not get a good job. So it's better to get the help and get a good job. And the last one I want to talk about is mental illness is not contagious. I had one father who didn't want the son to be diagnosed because they say, "Oh, I get other children who," and when he said they may get condition and I can't get him back to the hospital, the other children can't get it. No, there's no condition in mental health that is contagious that somebody can get from somebody. Even though the Bible says bad company corrupts, but it's not contagion, right? That's not something you catch. There's no mental illness over there that you can get from somebody else. And then the last one is people think only certain people can get mental illness, right? They say, oh, that only those people. That is also not true. Every one of us here can get stressed. And if you don't have some coping skills, one day, if this stress keep building, it's gonna knock you out, right? All of us in this country we drive every day. You're one car accident away from having a traumatic brain injury, right? Um, you know, some of the food we eating here that that's something we know from back home. One day you're gonna eat something that you're allergic to or that don't work well with you and might do some kind of damage that might be serious. So mental illnesses can happen to anybody. If you got a brain and you got a heart, something can happen somewhere there that can become a problem. So some of you that think say you're normal or you don't got issue, that's what I say. The same way we go to the doctor every year to do our physical. When we think we're normal, we ain't got no issue, you still go, you do your physical so the doctor can check you out. When you go, they still take your blood and they check your kidneys and your liver and your blood sugar and all that stuff. Not because you have problem, but they just want to make sure everything okay. If you can take care of your body that way, why not take care of your mind, right? You just come check it out. We check it out. We say, okay, you're good to go. You ain't gotta come back till next year, and then we got a record. So one of these days, when the stress knock you out, or you're in an accident, or something happened, and you got some kind of nervous breakdown, at least we already know you when you were normal, so that when those things happen, we know how to help you go back the way you used to be. But you are waiting to break down before you can see me, yeah, I will still help you, but I'll only be going by the words that you are telling me when you are already sick, or the people that know you are telling me because myself, I don't know you that well. So even though we will still help you, I would like for us to get to the place where Everybody that got a job, that got an insurance, will get a therapist. There's no successful white person in the country that ain't get a therapist. They go there even to start a business. They go see that therapist. Hey, I'm thinking about starting a business. And they talk about how stressful starting a business are. Let me look at your plan. Let me show we
Yeah,
cover all the holes because if we ain't do these things correctly, this thing can start so it can turn into something big.
yeah,
People go to therapists and say you fall in love. You go to see a therapist, doctor, you look like in love. Doctor say, okay, you can sit down. Let me tell you about love.
I'm coming because it looks like I'm falling in love. So I'm coming.
I'm
I'm coming.
telling you, listen, so there are all these things, like we were talking about how you clear the system, right? Before the new love you get it, and you don't want to mess it up. Let clear your system out first. Then you can, for the new love here, you have enough space to help it grow. So there's always a good reason. I got some people I've been seeing therapy for 5 years. They can just come, what's stressing you out? They say, oh, these days my life just dumb. I just keep it in touch. I say, okay. They just keep it in touch. They can't, okay, I stress that way. Okay, so okay. Yeah, turn it, 15 minutes later, they go home. They just touching base, right? It means something wrong with them, but they just want to make sure that their bases are covered so that the day something happens, they already got somebody that know them, that they trust, that they can go to and say something happened. That'll be my pattern word. If you don't get a mental health professional yet, you better try and get one because
Uh,
sooner or later you're gonna need one.
Thanks so much, Dr. Kwan. If you have to leave, you can do that. I know you have other things, but I want to say thank you for being a guest tonight and for educating us on mental health 101 and what is mental illness and those things that we need to do to take care of ourselves, anxiety, panic, nervous breakdown, all of those things. So I mean, you broke it down for us. Thank you. We love you by force, and we love to see you here. Even when Dr. Kwan here and they see him out there, they can ask him, why were you not on the show? But we should
They can be like, I know you. Then I'm looking at where you know me from? Oh, and you're on that show. Oh, okay, you know me for real. That's true.
like I said, so when Australia were talking about you, so I mean, it's not about you know all of that, but it's all about what we come on, how we come on every Sunday, and what impact we are making in our community, and the fact that we can put everything aside, especially Dr. Kwan, and he's here every Sunday to impact our lives and to talk to us about mental health. You have the tools available. You have someone who is willing, a friendly educator, down to earth man, the most handsome doctor on the EMS show, right? And so,
Exactly. I
what
second the motion.
else? So, come on. This is his information. Essential Care Centers, 612-441-2024. Please contact the Sam Jipa if you need help or you know someone that needs help. We have room for many more. So please come. Okay, I see my dad here saying he missed his granddaughter Jonetta. I miss you here today. Well, she's not here, so Bujubu, just stay right where you are. But
Let
she's doing a
the
fine.
old people enjoy today. Uh,
I want to say welcome to my baby, bless Elsie. I think she laughed when I said that I'm falling in love and I need to come and talk to you. When she said hello, laugh out loud. Yeah. And I also she got a comment here. Please, family, good morning from Ghana. I'm blessed to be here this morning. We love you by force and thanks for always being here. I see my sister Sata is on here. Sata Parker. Welcome, sis. Thanks for being here. Let me see who else. I think she's the one I haven't recognized yet. And if I didn't call your name or I didn't see your name to call it, please know that we love you here. Thanks for being here. We don't take this lightly, spending your Sunday evening with us every Sunday. We love you. Somebody here say, God richly bless you, Dr. Pine. Yes, Dr. Pine, you getting your blessing here gradually. But Dr. Pine, honestly, we love you. But folks, you don't have a choice in this one.
And I even fighting.
Yeah, we love
Yeah.
you on that. Pastor Russell, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for the support as well. On this note, Dr. Pan has said it all. What do I know about mental health? Dr. Pan made me to start learning about mental health and learning some little things here and there because first I used to mix it up with spirituality or spiritual issues, than the physical issue or mental health. But now I can tell I'm able, even if Dr. Pan is not available, my day one, day two cent, two idea that I learned from him, I'm able to tell you. And so let's continue most of us to support each other. On that note, I'm going to leave you with a song here that say Wonder Wonder from from Brother Charles Slayer. And it's a beautiful song. I love it. We love you. Thanks for being here and listen to the song. Enjoy it as we play.
Straight from the lab of Dr. Roy.
You deserve my praise. You're the wonder working God.
You deserve my praise. You're the wonder working God.
You deserve my praise. You're the wonder working God.
You deserve my praise. You're the wonder working God.
January to December.
Wonder, wonder,
Oh, I see.
wonder, wonder,
Everywhere I go.
wonder, wonder,
Yeah.
wonder, wonder,
Even in my life.
wonder, wonder,
The wonder that making me want.
wonder, wonder,
Making me want.
wonder, wonder.
Father, your daddy me. I'd give you my humble praise. If it hadn't have been for you, Jehovah, duck and do not. You cannot lie, you can't deny. That's why I run to you. You blessing me one, you blessing me two. I cannot count it all. Follow me every nation, they travel, let's let I got. He's a biggie, the mighty. I'm calling him the most high. Hey, get it. From the north to the south, everywhere I go, everyone get the kingdom.
Who is it tied up in his
Jesus,
show?
my year to wonder, things you do, making the people to wonder how I made it. Over and over, you keep on blessing me, even though I don't deserve it, Lord, you keep on blessing me. Hey, you're making me dumble. You're making me brisk to rapato. You're making me speak at the tongue. You're making me give you what I go. I will get again. I really just in your name. Rejoice in your working. Wonder they making me wild. Wonder they making me salute. Wonder they making me and they making me salute. Making me dance you down. Making me salute. Wonder they making me. Wonder they making me jump. Wonder they making me. Wonder they making me salute. Wonder they making me.
Who will make it different?
You.